Hi everybody, it's Sean. Got another video for you. I've bought a Grand Power Stribog, um, and I made a couple upgrades to it. There's some upgrades out there, and they're pretty easy, and it makes it a lot better. Anyway, so really cool. Here's my Stribog. I've already got the brace off of it. It's a tail hook brace is how mine came. It folds, and when I put it back together, you'll see. Um, but while it's a really pretty awesome pistol to begin with, um, there's a few upgrades that I really did like to do. I did three. I did, this is the original, and this is the bolt release, right? It makes the lip just a little bit wider than the stock one. Not that the stock one's hard, but this one is a lot easier to get to with your finger. It's really pretty cool. Um, the other thing I did is I added, you can see the little detent right there, the bolt where it locks in place and it won't rattle. This is the non-reciprocating version. This is the A2, right? There is an A3, which is a delayed roller lock, kind of like what it's not the same as how HK does it, but it's like what's on the MP5, but it's a delayed roller lock version. This is the first gen had a reciprocating bolt. This one, second gen, does not have a reciprocating bolt. And then the third gen is the roller lock. I have my Griffin armament mount with the taper mount so my suppressor can use on it. And I have the O-Light. This is the larger one. I've got the smaller laser light combo, but this one, the way it actuates is with a push on the side, not a push down. And I already had this one when the newer one came out, and I really like that on my other handguns. But this works really well on this because, like I said, it's just you push it on the side to activate it. It's real easy. Anyway, and then Holosun, Shake Awake, little green dot. I mean, it's just a green dot. And now, all the accessories I got were from HB Industries. Let me get you over there. Their website, right there. All three items. This one is the short stroke buffer. This one is the locking charging block, and you can see the little detent right there that you're able to see on there. And then the extended bolt stop. Now, they do have the ambidextrous charging handle, and they do have steel flip-up sights, because what it comes with, and you actually get a second set. At least when I bought mine, you get a second set. Now, these are plastic, but they're a backup sight. They're actually pretty cool. They're fairly robust anyway. I mean, but they are plastic, so they will, they can break. But I don't use them primarily because I've got the dot sight, so I don't really care about the steel. But you do have it. The other cool thing that I thought about getting, and it's fairly new, when I bought initially upgraded these, they didn't have it, is this different selector. It's a steel selector, and it's got a little lip on it when it comes out. See, it's got a little lip where it comes out like that. There's a different picture where you can see it a lot better. And you can configure 3 different ways too. It's actually pretty cool. So if your strong hand side, if that is getting in your way, then maybe you want to go with just the left hand side to where it pop out. Just whichever you want. But it's very configurable. You can configure it, both right, or left. So it's pretty configurable. So it's an option, right? But and then they've got this folding charging handle too, which is pretty awesome. So they've got accessories for some other manufacturer stuff too. Chris Vector, I think they make accessories for that. But what I'm doing today is showing you the 3 upgrades that I did. Okay, again, my Stribog, which I love, by the way. 2, if you get one now, it'll come at least from Global Ordnance, which is one of the importers, and that's where I have mine. It initially came with a straight mag. That's a 20 rounder and the 30 rounder, right? Then they had some feeding issues, pretty documented. If you watch Military Arms channel, Tim really went through that, and they made an adjustment with it where they put some steel feed lips up at the top. That didn't really overall help. Now, I never really had an issue with mine as far as shooting. Mine did bind a little where, like, I shot a couple rounds, I took it out, and you could dump it and they would fall out like what Tim did. I mean, shooting it still fed okay, but it definitely had that issue. What they went to with is the curved, and that fixed everything because the 9mm round is slightly tapered. I mean, but the curved magazine fixed all the feeding issues. And if Tim can't break it at Military Arms Channel, probably can't be broke, right? But even once he would use the curved magazines, he had no feeding issues, no issues whatsoever. So when you get it now, it should come with the curved magazines, but if not, get them. Their Global Ordnance site has them. I'm sure other people have them too, but they're really, there's no feed issues at all with it. Now, to the upgrades. Again, I already take the brace off because on mine, this pin's pretty stiff, and I need to push it out with a punch. It's not like my AR that I can just pop open without a punch. But anyway, with the normal way of dropping it, right? Now, to change this out, which it almost is already out on its own, right? You just got to take the front pivot pin out. You pop it out, then you can take the old one off, and then the new one just pops on. I mean, you literally just pry the ears apart a little bit to get it over, pop the pins back in, you're done. That's the easiest one of all the upgrades, right? Now for the bolt, and then this one is the hardest to do. Not that it's difficult, but it is the most difficult of the three. Let me set that down. Take your bolt apart, which just slides apart. The original one looks like this, okay? And it's not rubber, not plastic. It feels like a hybrid, right? But it's a plasticky, rubbery type. It still has some give to it, some squish. You can twist it. It's got a little give to it, but not much. This, you can see they've made these like a baffle almost that will compress more when it shows, and that reduces the recoil. It's not a bad recoiling rifle to begin with. Well, pistol rather, sorry. But that'll help tame the recoil. Now, this just pulls out. There's a bolt, the carrier, if you want to call it that. Now, this spring, there's a second rod inside here, right? This, they collapse. It's a there's two tubes, almost one that collapses into the other, okay? And there's a little O-ring type deal here, and then a little C-clip here that comes off that you can take it apart. All right, this taking it apart is the easy part. Putting it back together can be a little difficult, and there's videos on this. HB Industries has got some videos on how to do this. You can do it. It's not insurmountable, but it's not just as easy as the other two. The other two are ridiculously simple, easy to upgrade and swap out to the other. Now, with everything out, this, right, to change, and if you just want to change the pull, the side of the pull, right, you see how this has got a little bit of a keyhole. So when you get this to that keyhole, then this just pulls out. All right, and then you can pop it out back. You get a little something in there to push it, because now what's keeping it in now is the very thing you're upgrading to, right? Is that little retention. And one more time. And you slide it out. The original one is like that, like that. The new one, yeah, super simple, right? It just slides right out. And then you can see the little detents. That is what locks onto the frame. Okay, so it's a really simple. Now the hole goes toward the back. The detent goes in the front. Right, you just slide it in, push it in, and pop it in again. Now you're done. Okay, that's how easy that one is to change. So super easy. And again, they've got there's on that website you can buy where this handle is out both sides. It screws in, it's two-piece, and that way you'd have charging handle on either side, right? The lever. And then they got the folded one, which is pretty cool too. Okay. Now to get it back in, you got to get it to this keyhole slot, right? And once you do, push it in, wiggle it just a little bit because there is a little channel right here, and you got to get that to slide in a lot, right? And then what this does, and now that I got it with the steel part, it's easy to see too, right? While this doesn't reciprocate, when the weapon cycles, if you lock your slide to the rear, or when it locks the slide to the rear on your empty magazine, this will kind of flop around. So what could happen is if you have like a C grip on the front, this is flopping around. When you slam the new magazine in, you hit the release, that could, hit your thumb. But I just like it. It's a simple thing, and that they detent locks it in, and it doesn't rattle around at all. No rattle. Pretty easy upgrade, pretty simple. Like I said, the most difficult upgrade is this buffer system. This what do you call it? A short stroke buffer pad, I guess. But that's the only thing that has a little bit of difficulty of putting it back together. Like I said, taking it apart's easy. You just compress a little bit, the C-clip pops off, spring comes off, and then this rod is actually two rods. It's a telescoping style thing. It's a rod within a rod, right? That's the part. Now, let's get my bolt. Right, the bolt with the firing pin. If you want to call this the carrier, fine. It's just a big hunk of metal. I mean, there's a recess for that spring to go into, and that's it. Other than that, it's just a big hunk of metal. Okay, so and then while this isn't, I know this is not really part of the upgrade. This will physically fit either way, right? This way or this way, but it won't fit in the gun. So you can't screw it up. If you put it in backwards, and let's, for giggles, let's put it on backwards. And then go to slide it in, right? It won't work all the way when you go to put everything back in. Like when you put the buffer in, it won't work. So you can't really screw it up. It's a pretty cool thing. But obviously, the knob, that's where the hammer's going to hit. The hole, that's where the firing pin is. You want to do that. Let's put like I said, that just sets in the hole. Push it all the way forward. There you go. Now, oh, and while I got a part two, Grand Power comes with, because this is a pistol as far as legally, right? Pop that sight up. So I bought, and this is a UTG, I believe, because this is a metal back piece that has a Picatinny rail slot on it. You can see where I put a quick connector on it, so you can put a bungee cord. You can pop that in, and then put my bungee on that, so you can have that style for if you can't have a brace in the state that you're in, or they're passing some new laws currently that might make even the braces, there could be issues. But I digress. pop it in and up just a hair, then pop your thing, pop your pin. I can get it in without a punch or a hammer, but taking it out, mine's pretty stiff. And then, like I said, mine came I purchased it from Global Ordnance in this configuration, right? And then push in, and you have a side fold. So that's your package, right? Oh, the other upgrade, and I did that a long time ago, is the M-Lock, because this has M-Lock slots. These two and these two are M-Lock, and I put the QD adapter on the front there, because the tail hook brace has a QD slot back here. Let me turn around this way. Easier to see. So you've got your QD slot there. So you can use a 2-point sling or 1-point. I prefer the 2-point, but if I put that other back brace on, you go for a 1-point sling where you're using it with like a friction fit, where if you can't use the brace, and again, in the state you're in, this is a solution for you to use this, and it'll stabilize it better than just using it freehand. Let me fold this. So if you picture the brace not here, just doing it freehand. Now with the brace folded, I can, use it like this and do a push-pull where you're pulling back here and you're pushing forward here, and do a push-pull stabilization. It actually works pretty good. But anyway, there's many more upgrades. Like I said, there's a folding charging handle thing that HB Industries makes to replace that if you don't like that sticks out a little bit. It doesn't bother me. I like the left hand charging, and it's also on the side that this folds onto. So it's a left hand fold as well, so which I like because it doesn't block the ejection port, so I could shoot like this. I don't mind the factory. The factory safety is ambidextrous already. Yes, it's plastic, but there's no issue with it. Works really well. Again, this is a nice upgrade. While again, there's nothing wrong with the factory one. It's just the lip on this one is like 1/8 of an inch more. Just a hair wider, but that gives you a lot more purchase. Let's see if I can you see where the difference between the two? It's probably going to be pretty difficult to see. But it is a little bit wider, and that is perfect amount. You get plenty of purchase on it. As you can see with my finger, it's very easy to grab with that trigger finger with your lead hand. So I mean, you can drop the bolt with that. You can do it. It's ambidextrous as well, so you can do it on this side with your free hand, with your thumb. It's, like I said, very easy to do. These are 3 upgrades that are extremely simple to do. You don't need special tools, nothing. You can do these very easily by yourself. They make a spring kit if you wanted to adjust your trigger pull. I like the trigger as it is. It is a fairly firm, I guess that'd be the best way to say it, firm trigger. 5.5 pounds, maybe 5.5, but it's very crisp. You have your wall, like I had it on, but let me do it this way. Right, there's almost no, I mean, maybe a tad of take up. I mean, that's it. You can see it moving just a hair, couple of millimeters tops, and then clean, super clean break. It's a very nice trigger. I like this trigger. It has a normal reset, audible, tactile. You can feel it. But again, let's lock it back. So last round fires. See, this can flop around. Again, Doesn't matter when it's charged, right? Because it's not, you got the spring from on there. But when on last round hold open, or if you have the bolt lock back, then it just flops. But push that forward, that little detent keeps flopping around. Again, is it needed? No. Is it nice? Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then, see, it's very easy to slam that bolt home with this being extended, right? Very easy. Those are the 3 upgrades for me. Again, we'll do the trigger one more time since I just charged it. Boom. Very fun. I highly recommend it in that even now, with the, I bought this with the brace and all, it was $9.99, I believe. Without the brace, it was like $6.99. Yeah, $700, and it was like another $2 if you got it with the tail hook brace. Currently on Global Ordnance, I think it's $11.99 with a brace. I forget which brace they offer now. It's a slightly different brace. But, all its counterparts, I mean, who doesn't want an MP5? But an MP5 is $3,000. I'm sorry, it's not worth $3,000. It's great. It's a great gun. It's tested, super reliable, tried and true, used by almost every military, police, especially the like SWAT teams and special forces. It's worldwide. It's has to be one of the most iconic guns currently still in operation besides your AR and your AK. After that, I think the MP5 would be the most noticeable firearm on the planet. It's super awesome. But again, it's like $3,000. I'm not paying $3,000 for a 9mm pistol caliber carbine. I don't. None of my rifles, none of my weapons have been anywhere close to that. My AR 308 I built, and I built with some more nicer components, was under $2,000. I think about 1,800 is what I got in it total, and I've got a nice trigger. I've got I did the nicer free float barrel, free float front end on the furniture, and I still didn't spend over $2,000, and that's on a 308, right? AR 308. Now, if somebody gave me an MP5, I wouldn't throw it away or sell it, or I'd keep it, obviously. But this is an extremely robust, very nice shooting pistol with the 9mm pistol caliber carbine. This is all steel. The lower is polymer, but this is a very sturdy, very compact. I mean, super easy fold and deploy. It just has, it's got a little bit of a detent. It locks in, right? I mean, but just with the weight of it, if you push the button, it'll fall open just with the weight of it. So it does have a detent. It does lock, so it won't flop around on you. But then push and it pops out, and then ready to go. I mean, when it's folded, it's like 16 inches, I believe. From the rear of the receiver to the top of, with this muzzle device, it is 16 inches. I never measured the overall length, but I'm sure that's on the website. But anyway, Power Stribog. This is the Gen 2 version of it's the 9mm. They might come out with the 10mm, but this is the SP9A1 Gen 2. Okay. The 3 upgrades that are very, very easy to do. I did them from HB Industries. I'm sure there's others that might have the same thing, but these were all, I felt, pretty quality components. They're just as good as what I took off of it. But anyway, if you don't have one of these and you like a pistol caliber carbine, you like the idea of one, home defense, just plinking, truck gun, quote unquote, something that you can put in a small package. Notice in a backpack. Again, it'll come with the curved magazine, so there's the look with the magazine. It's a, like I said, it's a very very fun gun to shoot. I think it's a great value for what you're getting. Every competitor is more expensive. Obviously the MP5, the BNT, which is kind of what this. If you look at this one and look at the BNT, yeah, Grand Power, I think, kind of used that as a blueprint, right? They copied a lot of things off that BNT design, which why wouldn't you? BNT's excellent stuff. Um, but the Sig, their little pistol caliber carbine, all of them are much more expensive than this one. Sig would be the closest, but I why? It's a fun gun to shoot. It's got a great trigger. It's robust. It's solid. Pick rail, and now it's very easily upgradable. So you can make it your own without a whole lot of effort and a whole lot of time or money. It's not an expensive item all the way around. So if you're into this and you're looking at a pistol caliber carbine, check out the Stribog. It's an all or Stribog, I think is technically how you pronounce it, but yeah, oh well. So check out the HB Industries, and I'm not sponsored by anybody for anything actually, so I don't get anything from anyone. So I did it because I liked their product and it worked well for me. I tried it. I didn't have to send it back. It works great. So Stribog, 9mm pistol caliber carbine, Gen 2. Again, no, non-reciprocating bolt handle. You'll want that one for sure. If you want to go with the Gen 3 and have the roller delay type of recoil action instead of just straight blowback, go for it. I mean, I'm sure it'll soften it. But there is an option to soften even this one a little bit better with that short stroke buffer, that collapsible buffer. But anyway, thanks for checking out the channel. Go out and shoot. Have a good time. Ammo prices starting to come back down. This is 2022, but August of 2022. So, now it's kind of getting affordable to shoot again, or at least close enough. Um, Check out the Stribog, and easy to upgrade and make it your own. Thanks. Have a great day.